On this edition of Simon Says, Cadillac Jack, one of the top country radio hosts in the country, joins us to preview the ACM Awards in Las Vegas. We bear with you for the audio quality in our interview with Cadillac Jack. This was pre-recorded. He was in a cab when we did this interview. He is a very busy man, but we do appreciate the time to talk to us about the Association of Country Music Awards. Cadillac Jack will not be watching the ACM Awards because he'll actually be attending. That is very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's really looking forward to it this year. It's the 54th year, believe it or not.
What stands out this year among artists, albums, and songs that you think have a great chance to win an award?
Well, it just really depends. There's so many different variables. Like Keith Urban pointed out, he's up for Entertainer of the Year. I just talked to him a little while ago, and it's like, Entertainer of the Year is not even. It's not about songs. It's actually about the the live show. How much fun it is. How much the listener appreciates it. Just like Song of the Year is going to be about not only who's singing it, but about who's writing it. And with all the different genres of country now, got the rock sound, the pop sound, the rap sound. So it's just really different than it was 20 years ago when it was all Reba, all Alan Jackson, and all Brooks and Dunn.
Now, in past years, it would seem to be the same names over and over again that win. But in recent years, it seems like new artists pop up and win right off the bat. Why is that?
You know what? Who knows? A lot of people say it's politics, but, look at Casey Musgrave. She gets very little airplay. She's still talented. She's got a lot of great songs, but, she gets nominated. And, Chris Stapleton was getting nominated before he even, did it. But so, a lot of these record companies get block voting where they're so big that they have so many people voting for the artist. I really like CMA Fest during the CMA Fest Awards where the fans vote. It's not the Academy voting.
Now that's you led me into my question that I was going to ask. What's the difference between the CMA and the ACM?
It's the Academy of Country Music and of the Academy of Country Music Awards, and it's the Country Music Association, two different entities.
But what's the difference in terms of the awards?
You know what? Not a lot. ACMs are based out of LA, and CMAs are more Nashville oriented.
What songs this year should we be listening for that are nominated?
You know what? I don't have the list right in front of me, but I think you're going to see big winners this year from Chris Stapleton, Casey Musgrave. I think Keith's going to have a good year, and I think you're going to see some new artists maybe have a few upsets this year. Maybe a few of the, like for instance, like the Artist of the Year and Songs of the Year. We might see a couple underdogs come through this year, and that's what I'm hoping. I like to see new artists get their due. You know what I mean?
Okay. And you're now working in Detroit. You used to be on air here in Las Vegas. You also were on the air in Tampa, Philadelphia, Washington. What's the difference between hosting a show like you do in the afternoon in Detroit than, say, here in Las Vegas?
Well, you know what? Vegas is such a transient town, and I just don't think you don't have the fans, the country music fans in some markets like you do. Like Detroit's a big country market. Tampa, not so much. I mean, you get cities like Nashville and San Antonio and Dallas that are just big country towns where there's 3 or 4 country stations there. Detroit is a very, believe it or not, a very big country town, and the listeners are more passionate. Here, there's just so many people moving in and out. It's really tough to get a fan base. You know what I mean?
I would not have pictured Detroit as a big country market. Why?
It is. It's, as a matter of fact, WYCD is one of the top 3 queuing stations in the country behind LA and New York.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. So, if you had to pick a sure winner, and considering you lived in Las Vegas, we'll see how your handicapping skill is. What do you consider as you think a sure winner tomorrow?
Well, like you said, I don't have the list in front of me. Do you have it in front of you?
No, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I would look for probably Keith to win Entertainer of the Year. Carrie Underwood will pick up a couple of awards tomorrow night. Florida Georgia Line may pick one up. I would say, this is a really hot year for a couple bands, and Thomas Rhett, I think, is going to have a big night tomorrow night. I think he'll get artist of the year.
What is a new group or new artist that we should be listening for after the awards that'll be big in country?
I think you should look for, Morgan Wallen, I think is going to be really well. I think we're going to hear a lot from Carly Pierce. Luke Combs 2 years ago, nobody knew who he was, and now his first 5 records are, first 5 records number 1. So you know what? There's going to be a lot of artists that are going to break out in the next couple of years. There's going to be in 2 years. There's going to be 2 or 3 more superstar acts.
Last question I have for you. A lot of my listeners always like to hear about David Lee Murphy. I worked with David Lee a little bit when he was coming up. And tell me about your encounters with David Lee. I mean, it was great to see him surface last year, winning everything under the sun.
Well, that's what's great. David Lee Murphy had a big hit with Dustin on the Bottle years ago, and that's when I first got into country. I met him there then, and I just spent some time with him. I just had him for a show in Detroit at the Fillmore about 3 weeks ago, or a couple of months ago. Great guy. And you know what? That's why I get, another one. Kenny Chesney was a baby when I met him. He didn't have any. As a matter of fact, in Detroit, he used to do backyard barbecues for us, for listeners. So when a big artist takes a new artist or an artist that hasn't had a hit in a long time under their wings, I think that's wonderful because, it really resprang his career.
That's Cadillac Jack. You can hear him afternoons on 99.5 WYCD in Detroit. Thank you for joining me, and have fun at the ACM.
Thank you, pal. Great to talk to you again, Scott. You're an old friend, and always thought you were the coolest, buddy.
Well, thank you. I'm Simon Says, Scott Simon, and hope you enjoyed this preview of the ACM from the greatest city in the world, Las Vegas, Nevada.